Hey, it's Jake and Andy from Two Dudes Reviews, and hanging out with us today is my old buddy Rick Metz. How you doing, Rick?
I'm doing great.
For whatever reason, we give Rick the tall chair.
Yes, that's because I'm the center of attention. It's a musician thing, and it always falls over into cigar life as well.
There you go. I met Rick here on the West Coast over a place called Midtown Market. He was managing a cigar bar over there, and so I used to go to Rick when we first moved to town and get his input on what cigars I should try at the humidor. We'll come to find, after knowing the guy for a lot of years now, he's actually the local rep for a very small boutique brand called Bucanero Cigars. And I'm a huge fan of boutique brands. So, which is one of the reasons why we're doing the cigar review tonight at a place called Hatuey Cigars here in Reno. And it was interesting talking to the guys downstairs. Greg. I've got 3 business cards here. Gustavo is the owner. I guess they have 117 different styles, lines of their brand, which is a huge amount. So we're going to do a Hatuey cigar review in the future. But mad props to Hatuey for hosting this event.
Heck yeah, love this place. I've been coming to this place for a long time, and they're always very hospitable and very comfortable right here. Yeah. I mean, they're great guys.
Yeah. So tonight, Rick, we're having the Bucanero Z, and I'm having my Z with a little bullet rye, and Andy's got some tequila.
Cazadores, silver.
Yeah, and Rick is going to be drinking butane.
Butane. I love butane. It has that perfect bite to go along with a great cigar.
Why don't we get to cutting, and Rick, tell us a little about what we might experience here. Tell me some of the background on the cigar.
Well, the Bucanero Z, Bucanero's been around since about 95. Bob Spoden out of Tampa, Florida, has had the company, and it's basically really a boutique brand, as you said before, and he has put out a few different things over the course of the years, but he uses tobacco from a lot of different places. It's not just your standard Dominican fare. He takes a lot of Honduran, Nicaraguan. We use Costa Rican. Would you like a clip, or would you like a punch?
I would try the Swiss Army clip, man.
Here's the Swiss Army clip right there.
I'm going to go for the novelty clip here.
Yes, my Swiss Army knife cigar cutter. You don't see too many of those around. One run only from Swiss, from what I understand, and they quit making them, but I have one. But Bobby's been making a lot of great cigars for a lot of years, and what's really neat is that the aging process on these cigars is stunning. 7 years of aging before it ever hits the box, which means that no matter how full flavored of a cigar it could be, how much of Maduro pepper spice that you're going to get, you're always going to get a smooth finish because the tobacco's been aged properly. You'll always get that smooth finish. And, you know, not many of us do it, but if you have to set down a cigar and return to it later, let it go out, with a Bucanero, every time you relight it, it's just as smooth as the first time you lit it.
Okay.
That's the aging process.
Special relighting technique.
No special technique.
None whatsoever.
We learned all those techniques for nothing.
Yeah, well, you know, when it comes to the right cigar and the right aging process and the right manufacturer, you don't need that at all, and that's the case with Bucanero. This cigar, when it first came out in the late '90s, was rated by Cigar Aficionado as being better and less expensive, which is always a good point, than the Padron 1964 Anniversario.
Wow.
And that's saying a lot for a cigar. You'll note it's a box press.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a beautiful box press. There's great edges on that. That's almost a perfect square when you take a look at the end of it here,
nice.
Which you'll see in the picture. And the filler is a nice dark shade. I don't know what you're using, what the filler is in this. With a nice, what would you consider that wrapper shade?
It's almost a rosado, but it's not quite a rosado. I'm not going to give away exactly what's in it or exactly what to expect, because that would give you preconceptions.
Yeah.
Sure, I want you to enjoy it as you find it.
Okay.
That's the best way to enjoy a new cigar that you haven't had before,
Well,
at least in my opinion.
With that said, let's get to toasting.
I think we can do that.
A cigar later.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I know. I got.
We have 2 here. We're going to get you one here in just a moment.
I really like the fact that it's got a nice tight wrap, very leathery, smooth feel, minimal veins. I mean, I'm not seeing many veins at all on that, but you can see where the wrap has just been done very, very well in that cigar.
that lighter has survived many trips to Burning Man and still burns on beautifully. And to say that definitely says a lot, because taking it out to Burning Man is one of the harshest things you can do to a lighter. But
The Dust Bowl.
the Dust Bowl, I bring it out with my cigars, and I always keep my cigars well humidified out at Burning Man to keep them ready to smoke.
Now, just pushing along this cigar here, it's got a nice tight wrap. Not indicative of the type of draw I'm getting on that. This is one of the easiest drawing cigars I think I've ever had with a wrap that's that impeccable.
It's very easy draw.
It's one of the hallmarks of Bucanero. I mean, quality wraps all the time. Beautiful box presses when they do make their box press, and everything draws beautifully. I mean, they even do draw tests on it. On all of their product. Everything is draw tested to make sure that everything's going to smoke.
Is this done in tubo style, or is it the like accordion style when they're using the filler in that?
I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you the exact specifics on that.
Really smooth and mellow.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly get a little bit of the grassy overtones, some of the very, very light hay. Definitely some creaminess on the palate. And I've mentioned this in other videos. Oftentimes on the first light of a cigar, your palate's not really used to it, so the pepper just is like a pepper punch to the mouth. And this one is not knocking me on my tail, which is nice.
No,
I like that.
it won't do that. It's got that nice light start to it, but as this cigar progresses, you'll see how it develops into many different flavors.
Okay.
And that's another one of the hallmarks of the Bucanero brand, is how the cigar progresses as you're smoking it. It's not the same cigar from start to finish. It definitely gives you quite a few different, how shall we say, highlights throughout the cigar.
And even though I got I wouldn't say I gave this thing the perfect light, it corrected itself very, very well. I mean, look at that line right there. There's a little bit of a juggle, but not much. Yours looks pretty good. I think Andy screwed that one up. I'm going to blame operator error on that.
Operator on that one. That's the novice cigar smoker.
But as he said, his corrected itself. Mine will correct itself. Mine is really close, and yours will correct itself as it goes along there. You know, and of course, I have complete faith that you kept these beautifully humidored since they arrived.
Oh, of course. Well, in fact, I believe when they were presented to me, they had a one of the little humidity packets right inside of it. So.
Water pillows rock.
Yeah, we love a water pillow. So we're going to keep on smoking on the first third here. We'll catch up to you on the second third and give you our impressions at that point of the Bucanero Z. So we're here now in the second third in the boardroom at Hatuey Cigars, and I think, is there a website? I think that, yeah. The website is Hatuey Cigars Reno. I'll spell that for you. Hatuey cigarsreno.com.
It's right here on the bottom.
Yeah,
it's going to be here on the bottom.
Yeah, they actually grow tobaccos.
Subtitles?
All of it.
I love subtitles.
We just put that in the in the bottom there. It'll be right here on the bottom.
They grow tobaccos for a couple of the bigger brands out there. Oliva gets tobacco from Hatuey. The Fuente family gets tobacco from Hatuey, and there was one other they were telling us earlier that I forget. Anyhow, mad props to them. Talking about the ash on these, and the Jew boy next to us here talks with his hands.
I talk with my hands. I'm from
Jews
New
and
York
cigars.
here. You know, I'm a Jewish guy, grew up next to the Italian neighborhood. I talk with my hands. I made an ash out of myself.
We were remarking on the fact that if you take a look at this ash here, it's almost razor straight. A lot of times when you get to this particular point in a cigar, you'll see that little dip happening, giving you the clue that, hey, it's time to tap that ash.
And at the beginning I had a little bump, and you can see the little bump there, but it has evened itself out, corrected itself nicely.
Yeah.
So,
That's a nice tight ash, and
Nothing
Rick,
like a nice tight ash.
We all like a nice tight ash.
and Rick was mentioning that he's had some of these Bucaneros that he smoked all the way to the bottom with the ash.
I think it was kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
I think it was almost a challenge. I think.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Rick.
You're welcome. I blew it right away, of course.
Yeah, well, of course. You would have to, because you talked about it.
Of course. I jinxed myself.
So, some comments, thoughts about the second third here of the Bucanero Z?
Well, I always note when I get through the first third of this cigar just how smooth and even it is. You still get those nice, slightly sweet finish on the back of the throat, on the back of the palate, but you notice as you get to this point that a little bit of the pepper starts to come out.
Yes,
I
I
get a
did
little bit of it
notice
right now.
that. In fact, the past 3 or 4 puffs, so it hasn't been too recent, but still really creamy, still relatively light. I like the hay over notes and the nuttiness. The nuttiness and creaminess are blending really, really nice right now for me on this cigar. And I'm just picking up a subtle hint of white pepper right now.
Yeah, that pepper is coming through, and it's just smooth. I mean, I tend to like a milder, smoother cigar, and this is really kind of hitting my palate really well right now.
Speaking to him.
Well, once again, you have to go back to the aging process. 7 years before it hits the box, everything, no matter how peppery it is, the flavor, you get the flavor. You don't get the harshness at the back of your throat because the tobacco's been aged correctly. So you get that smooth finish each and every draw. And all the way down from one end of the cigar to the other. It's a constant. And that's what really got me to fall in love with Bucanero cigars.
Yeah, I was going to say, with it being such a boutique brand, you don't see Bucanero in every cigar shop, brick and mortar place on the face of the planet. How did you become associated with Bucanero?
Well, I was managing a local cigar bar back in the late 90s and into the late 2000s.
And they sent you the T-shirt, and you said, "Hey, I'll sell your cigars."
No, they didn't send me the T-shirt actually right away. But I was, I was expanding the, I guess you could say, the vocabulary of the area at the cigar bar I was working at, the cigar vocabulary, so to speak, and bringing in stuff that wasn't your standard brands that everybody knew about. I wanted to expand out and get stuff that people weren't familiar with. And I received a call from Bucanero one day, and I said, "I don't know anything about you. Send me something and let's see what you got."
Okay.
And they sent me a nice little sampler pack. I smoked every single one of them, and I loved every single one of them.
Okay.
And
That's
when,
saying something.
and when I left the company, when I left the cigar bar I was managing in 2008, actually 2005, I had the opportunity to work for any of the major cigar brands. I was courted by Gilbert Oliva himself. I was courted by CAO. The Newmans from Fuente had talked to me about working for them as a rep. My old buddy Charlie Tarano wanted me big time to work for him. Charlie and I have palled around for a lot of years. I love Charlie. He's such a sweetheart. But I wanted to work for Bucanero because the owner, Bob, and at the time his brother John, who was with the company, and Bob's wife Kathy, they are the sweetest people you ever want to meet in your life, and they know their product inside out. You know, Bob, in case you weren't aware, when he started this brand, he recruited the legendary Don Douglas, who was the original. From what I understand, I believe I'm correct. Definitely correct me on this, or cut it out if I'm not correct. But Don Douglas, I believe, was the original master roller for CAO, and has been around for a lot of years. And we got Bob and Kathy got Don Douglas to, be their master roller. And in fact, they even have a blend that is named after the great Don. It's the Don Douglas, and obviously, and it's another one of my favorite Bucaneros. There's a great selection of Bucanero all the way across the board, from the most super spicy, peppery cigars. We've got the highest rated cigar in the history of Smoke Magazine. Our unbanded cigars rate as the highest unbanded cigars in the history of Smoke Magazine. And of course, you know that Smoke Magazine rates everything as a blind taste test. They send it out to people that sell the magazine in their shops and to cigar professionals, and they send them a blind taste test. They don't know what they're smoking. And when those kind of taste tests come back and they get that kind of ratings,
they get a positive review.
Exactly. You know it's well deserved.
Sure.
And that's what I really like about Bucanero. Anybody that smokes one of these will continue to smoke these.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cigar.
Dynamite. So we'll catch up with you on the third, get a little bit more information on where you can purchase one of these Bucanero cigars. And we're probably going to tap that ash because I'm getting a little bit of a tip on that. I'm just nervous.
I'm looking at mine.
And Andy is looking like he's got whiskey dick after a long night hanging out of the casino.
Let me hold that the proper direction.
Yeah, there you go.
Either that or he's slightly aroused.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Or wait. This one, there's a lot.
Yeah, there we go.
It's quite up.
Well, it really all depends on how you hold it.
Of course it does.
How she holds it.
We'll be back for the third.
Enjoy.
And we're back.
We're back.
the third of this wonderful Bucanero. Man, I gotta say, just a dynamite smoke through and through. As you alluded to at the beginning of the video, Rick, this cigar has not gotten hot. The flavors have slowly progressed and opened up a little bit. At the beginning of the third, about 6 puffs ago, I was getting an interesting sweet, almost fruity overtone with the nose and on the palate with this. It's just delicious. And maybe you can help me out with my adjectives, because I don't have that big book of adjectives. But occasionally when I'm really enjoying a nice cigar, and maybe it has to do with Nicaraguan tobacco, I don't know, I get this flavor. It's almost like Band-Aid flavor, and I know that's a horrible descriptor.
Band-Aids,
but
yeah,
there's something comfortable about it. Do you know what adjective I'm looking for there?
You know, I think you've said it perfectly. I don't think you need any other adjectives. You have expressed exactly how you feel about the cigar and the flavors that you're getting from it. I think what you're alluding to is that Sumatra wrap on it, which adds that slight sweetness to it and adds that, rich, cool flavor. And because you are getting that peppery flavor down, it started about halfway through the cigar. You got that little bite of pepper, and it started to progress as it went along. But the final finish at the back of the palate is always that Sumatra wrap, which has that cool, sweet flavor.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got to go back once again to the aging process of this cigar. And every cigar that Bucanero makes, and the way it's rolled, and the way it's purge-free, draw-tested, and just absolutely a fabulous burn all the way down. As you can see, every one of our cigars is burned beautifully.
Well, we were just talking about this, how again it's exploding a little bit. The wrapper is kind of coming apart. And
only slightly though. Let's definitely bring that up.
It's not coming unraveled.
It's not blowing up.
But it's and that's, again, like you said, handling. We're twisting it, we're turning it, we're doing whatever, but the ash, it's still burning incredibly
perfect,
consistent, and perfect all the way down. And funny, we've done some reviews, and we'll have one that goes haywire, and then one that is perfect all the way down.
The big canoe, you've got
the big canoe and all that.
And
then I'm impressed, because here we have 3 cigars that are all burning very consistently. They're burning very, very evenly,
and about at the same pace too. We're all at about the same, at the same
and you're
level.
a pretty quick smoker.
I do take large puffs. I like a big gout of smoke coming out of my mouth when I'm smoking a cigar, and it's like, if I may demonstrate.
Let's make a big puff of smoke there. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying this. And again, in the third, a lot of the time I'm done. A lot of cigars I'm done right now, because it's so hot, it's so spicy, and it's just not conducive to my personal palate. And this one, I'm still enjoying it all the way through.
Yeah.
Again, that comes back to improperly aged tobacco.
Yeah.
And the quality of the roll, the quality of the manufacturing. Everything about Bucanero is meticulously handled from start to finish. And the way they smoke, and just the smoothness all the way down, but the full flavor. You're getting the flavor without the heat at the back of your throat.
Right.
From basically underage tobacco that's not aged correctly.
Yeah.
You're getting that beautiful, rich flavor all the way down.
And that smooth draw too. That draw hasn't changed from light to now.
No.
From the time we
So
fired that stuff.
I want to procure a box of these. Where am I going to go? Obviously, you can do the Google search.
Yes, you can do that. Well, BucaneroCigars.com is the website. And let's spell that. Yeah, it'll be right down here. With the correct spelling and everything.
When I initially sent out the ask if we could review some of these Bucaneros, and I have had the Bucanero in the past, and always enjoyed this line, this brand. I misspelled Bucanero. So
horribly misspelled.
That's why he's got to give me a ration of crap about it. It was early, or it was dark, or there was some type of a challenge.
Or there was alcohol involved.
Yeah,
that happens.
That's what we mean by dark.
BucaneroCigars.com. There are a lot of mom and pop stores around the nation that do carry Bucanero and have been faithful to the brand for a lot of years now, since they came out.
If you can find them, go and support your brick and mortar shop. I mean,
please do.
These guys have got a tough time, and oftentimes part of the beauty of going to a brick and mortar shop is to have a real person you can go in and talk to get some advice, who you can tell them what you like, what your palate is most acceptable to from mild to a heavy to a robust cigar, and they can point you in the right direction.
Well, when I manage the cigar shop, my first question is, what do you like now? What have you been smoking? And then that is the perfect precursor to saying, well, if you like this, you're going to love this, this, and this. Try these other brands.
Sure.
They're in that same ballpark,
Yeah.
but you will find them to be uniquely different, and you will find them to be uniquely satisfying. And that's the secret, is to expand out your, once again, I'll use that term, your cigar vocabulary, and be able to experience so many different tastes and so many different blends from so many passionate cigar makers in the business. They're out there, no matter how much the government tries to regulate and tax, there's still these great cigar makers that are working hard, and you've got these beautiful brick and mortar stores that want to have you there.
Yeah.
They
Just
want
like
you to
Hatuey.
smoke. Yeah, exactly.
It's like where we are
Just like
tonight.
where we are tonight.
I mean, this place is amazing. I had no idea there was so much here as far as places to go, rooms to sit in.
Yeah.
Actually, different environments.
If
right?
you're in the Reno area for vacation or whatever, you're not going to find many cigar-friendly places. The casinos nowadays have pretty much made it illegal to smoke on anything but the casino floor itself, which isn't necessarily conducive for a chill-back, relaxing place. A place to have a cigar. And there's no other place. You can't go into a restaurant. There's not many bars that are cigar-friendly in town.
No.
So come check out Hatuey for your smoking
It's
pleasure.
a fabulous place. I've been coming here for a lot of years, and they always make you feel welcome and at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which is something you don't always get.
No, no, because you must remember, and I will give you this quote, and I've been using it for years. I do have it trademarked and copyrighted.
This quote has perplexed me for years every time I see it.
A fine cigar will repel the right kind of people.
Yeah. Think about that for a second.
Let that sink in.
One last thing before we wrap up this review, and it is a beautiful cigar all the way through. Rick, thank you. Rick Metz.
Thank Bob Spoden.
Thank you, Bob Spoden. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Bob.
Rick is a sax player, and Rick, I'm going to include you have a website?
Of course, rickmetz.com.
rickmetz.com. We'll include that right
And
here.
it'll be right down there on the bottom.
You want to check out some of Rick Metz's saxophone virtuosity? He's dynamite. He's one of the best jazz musicians we have here in Reno, and I absolutely love jazz.
Thank you. And it's not only jazz. I do play rock and roll and blues, funk and
he's a musician.
I'm a musician. I love every kind of music as long as it's done well.
Yeah.
And I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of the greats in the business, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famers from the 50s and 60s, notably. My credentials, just go to my website.
Go check it
He's
out.
great at self-promotion.
Radical self-promotion.
Yeah. It's the Bucanero Z, and I'm Jave. That's Andy. Rick Metz. We're two dudes.
And a sax man.